So Keith, this is for you, brother. You want to know what limp mode is and why your car is going into limp mode. Read that question this morning. It just depends on what kind of car you have, what year it is. My car would always go into limp mode just over the transmission. It would always be the transmission. Whenever the transmission would lock up, it'll go into limp mode. I remember going to limp mode one time for the alternator. But it's gonna be your main issues. It's just power, combustion, so like your fuel, and if not, it's just your power. So that's why majority of the reason why your car is going to limp mode. If it's starts to tweak out on you, don't keep trying to drive it. That's what my first mistake was because I tried to scoot up the road in it, and it was causing it to sit there and cause the metal particles, the metal fillings inside of my transmission. It caused those particles to sit there and spread into the transmission pan, which caused the transmission to die out. Like there's a magnet in the transmission pan to get those metal flakes, and when I pulled that magnet out, it was full of flakes. So the main reason why it's going in a limp mode is because obviously something happened when you were driving that's caused the car to realize that it needs to stop. And if you keep pushing it while it's in limp mode, it don't even need to go to the dealership to get cleared out of limp mode. You can clear it out of limp mode at first yourself. Just pull over. Don't try to drive it because that's why it's called limp mode. I mean, you ain't supposed to limp holding on a bad ankle. So just sit there and just get the pressure off of it because you're only gonna make it worse. It's the same thing when you're sitting there driving on a bad tire. You only mess the rim up. So you gotta sit there and pull over, let it go, and then check the get your ODD reader. Check the see what the code is. Just leave the car where it is. Just come back that day. Don't sit there and try to be gone forever. You don't need to be gone forever because you can clear the code right then. I remember I was sitting there having a shift engage issue where when I pulled up on a hill one time, it caused the car to go into limp mode just because of the gears weren't in the right order, basically, or they weren't in functioning right because I had changed the transmission and it didn't update. So my dumb mistake was that I kept driving the car right, which was fine. That didn't even cause the issue when I kept driving the car when I went to limp mode on the hill. My main issue was when I sat there and pulled over to my grandmother's house, I put transmission fluid in the car thinking it was transmission fluid's problem, right? And then it caused the transmission to sit there and start to foam up because there was so much transmission fluid in it. When there's too much transmission fluid in there, the cylinders will keep spinning. It keeps spinning, right? It keeps spinning, and all it does is like it's like blending the drink up and just foams it right up, and then you can't drive the car because there's so much in there. And then your next thing is to sit there and go to the transmission, and then try to sit there and defill it. You gotta sit there and go to the side, take your little 10 millimeter bolt, and you're gonna sit there and unscrew it and let some of that training fluid out. And that's the hardest thing also with that. So that limp mode is just means that your car is sitting there has realized that something's going on, and it's easy. Your first step is just to realize that it's the power, like, and when I say power, I mean like electrical. It's a little electrical. If it's your alternator, your battery, stuff like that, that's gonna be the first one. It can be even be a fuse. You gotta check your fuses too. The PCM acts real funny too, and this is why I keep telling you like y'all get them books, get them manual books, and then maybe the next step after that is sit there and check to see if it's anything to do with the fuel, which more than likely not, because it's not going to go in limp mode for fuel. It's just going to die out. And your next step is just if it goes in a limp mode, it's because it has something to do with the powertrain. It's something to do with the powertrain or its power. It's just going to be those two options every single time. That's the only reason why it goes in a limp mode. But I'll sit there and see if you respond back, bro. Just let me know what you think.